Hello and welcome to another episode of Ashes to Go. I'm your host, Redbyrd, and with me is BDLG. Bordy, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, man. I like how you put that emphasis on that. I think you were stumbling over your words a little bit.
No, dude, I was trying to pay tribute to Macho Man Randy Savage.
Hulk Hogan?
Oh, was it? Wait, what?
I thought Hulk Hogan was the guy that said that. Am I Randy Savage? I don't know, man.
Oh,
Am I wrong?
Dude. I don't know.
I think it's Hulk Hogan.
You might be right. Yeah. Okay, you might be right, dude. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, because Randy Savage, he always did the... Wait. Oh, my gosh. I don't know, man. I thought he did like, oh, brother. You better listen here, brother. Okay, so we're going to probably get way off topic here if we're trying to figure this out on the podcast. Maybe we should do this afterwards. All right, guys. Well, we got a great episode for you guys, wrestling history and all. We're going to go over the recent dev stream. We got a lot of stuff to kind of talk about there today. This very day, they released the new backer package that we're going to go into some discussion in detail. And, dude, it's really cool looking, so we can't wait to talk about that with you guys. And then we're going to do our first ever Guild of the Week. And this one's really awesome, dude, because there's quite a bit of a little bit of a backstory with interaction on Twitter and stuff like that. So it's really cool that we're getting to do this with this particular guild today on the podcast. So we're excited about that as well. So Bordy, let's hop right in here. Woe Within the Woodlands is the new title of the backer package that they just released today on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, and dude, it's very like Sleepy Hollow, a Halloween type themed package, man. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, it is very, very, very attractive as far as cosmetics go.
It is. It looks dope, man. But this ain't it for me, Chief. This isn't the one for me, man. I don't like horse mounts.
Yeah, tell us why you hate Intrepid, dude.
I don't. I don't. Okay.
All right.
So I love the blue and black colors. Dope. Looks amazing. That part of it looks amazing. I am holding out for the mount, though. That's what I want. I want a mount. The costumes in this one look really good. The hat looks pretty cool, minus the mushrooms. The little pet looks really dope. And I guess we can kind of describe these a little bit more here in a minute. But I don't want a horse mount, a regular horse, man. Although this isn't a regular horse, this one looks pretty freaking amazing. It looks dope. The caravan looks awesome. But I just don't want a horse. I want something a little bit more exotic than that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, dude, overall, like, they just do an amazing job with every backer package. I'm kind of like came to that realization, like, each one I see, I'm like, dude, that is so cool. And then I look at the past one, I'm like, I thought that was cool. And then the other one, I thought that was cool. So it's like, you know what I mean? Eventually, like... we just kind of allude to, like, literally everything they put out is pretty cool looking for the most part. Maybe at one point they'll open up any of the packages that they've ever released for, like, a one-time offer. Maybe Christmas, dude. They'll just let us pick whatever backer package we want. Maybe they won't because they kind of, like, I guess kind of part of the selling point on a lot of these is the exclusivity, right? You'll be the only people. If you buy within this month, you'll be the only people that get these appearance items.
Yeah, but I mean, in the spirit of giving.
Yeah, exactly. Ashes of Creation, please. Because I really want that. I missed out on that wolf one, the like Winterfell themed package, dude, and I want that one really bad, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. But all of these look cool. Let's go through this one real quick. So the first one is the Gloomroot.
Real quack? Did you just say real quack,
man?
Bro, you're all over the place,
listen,
man.
Dude. You don't. Every time I slip up with the English language, you don't need to point it out on the podcast. Okay.
Let's go over it real quack.
Okay, man.
Let's take a quack at it.
The Gloomroot cap. So it's like a witch's cap, well, with branches and fungi on there, like a glowing fungus. A blue glowing fungus is pretty much the theme of the entire package. One of the things, and we can talk a little bit about this because I think it's a pretty important topic matter. These appearance items, I hope, are just like costumes. Like we can apply them on whatever character we want, and we don't have to like have like a cloth cap to apply the Glimmer cap. Do you think that's going to be the case? Because a lot of these, I noticed a lot of these appearance items are not only like themed towards a particular type of armor, like light, medium, or heavy, but they're also themed to like kind of like a race or a racial appearance. So do you think we're going to need to be, maybe this race and this class type or this armor type to be able to equip these as appearances? Or do you think it generally across the board, like you're going to be able to apply these on any character that you want?
I think you'll be able to use them on any character, man. I think if it was the case where it was locked to a specific race or class, I feel like they would have already disclosed that by now because they've been selling these for quite a while, and somebody's going to get real tilted if they can't wear these cosmetics on the character that they choose on release. And so I would think that it's going to function probably very similar to that of like ESO's costume system, where you can basically wear whatever you want and just change your appearance. And I think that's fine. I think in some circumstances, in some games, that wouldn't be okay because you want to see what your opponent has on. But I don't think it's that big of a deal in a game like this. I think it's fine to be able to wear whatever costume. And I think that's what they'll do with this game.
Yeah. And I really do hope that's the case because, like you said, I mean, I don't think they've, unless we're missing something, I don't think they've been very clear that like is like actually like, the purpose of all these is to have them only equipable by a certain racial appearance and a certain armor set. So hopefully that is true. And I wouldn't see any reason why, like you said, they wouldn't do that, right? Just have as many appearances as possible for every character and, go from there. Because, dude, I really want to be... obviously, we've talked about what classes we want to be. I want to be like a ranger, obviously, like some sort of like, dark themed ranger and wearing a robe with a hood and stuff like that would be really dope. So I hope they do allow us to do that. Sabletooth Cub. I'm reading that right. There's an L. And okay.
I think it's Sable.
Sabletooth. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit, we won't go too much into depth here. It's like a little cub tiger-ish type thing with blue stripes and blue eyes and black coat. Pretty dope looking pet. I'm not a big pet guy. So, not always the thing that intrigues me to buy one of these backer packages, but it is pretty cool looking as a little pet. So the Steed of the Frayed Copes. Do you know what that word is, man? Count me out, English guy.
I think you said it right.
Okay.
That's how I read it.
All right, moving on. So so this is a pretty, I mean, as far as like horse mounts go, this horse is pretty dope looking. It's like its mane and its tail are branches that are fraying out from like that blue fungal appearance. The eyes are glowing blue. The actual legs of the horse are like branches or like, wicked type branches. Dude, it is a really, really well done looking mount. And I'm sure there's some sort of particle effect to this mount. The way that the picture looks, it's going to have like some blue particle effect coming off of it. It's a pretty cool looking mount when it comes to like horses.
I agree, man. The blue that they use, this color of blue is probably my favorite color. And it looks, dude, the blue and the gray together look amazing. And this horse looks really, really, really good. And if I were going to buy something that was a horse and not some other sort of mount, I would not be ashamed to be riding on the back of this thing because it really does look great. They do so good.
Yeah, their art team is like second to none, man. All these sketches and appearances are really, really cool. So the next one, and this is the costume appearance, is the Guise of the Withered Woods. This is like honestly, like I tend to be like you and like be drawn to the mount in the packages, but this costume is pretty insanely cool to me because I think something that is like maybe that goes unnoticed and I'm not even sure is completely factual. Dude, they have the bottom of this robe is like glowing blue, like we said the other particle effects or the other appearances on the other things are. But you can kind of see, it looks like a hovering, like there's no boots, there's no legs. It just looks like that mage is like hovering over the ground with this blue glow underneath it. And it looks really, really cool, dude.
Yeah, it's like a translucent blue. It's pretty neat looking, man. It looks very sinister. The whole costume looks real sinister. Not exactly my style, but I think it looks really cool.
See, and this is what I was talking about. How cool would it be to be like a ranger, like this dark, like, necromancer or warlock ranger type
Yeah,
character.
it would fit.
And to
Yeah.
have a robe like that you have no feet on, you kind of just glide and kite people with that blue appearance on underneath you, dude. That is a really sick looking transmog, and that's, I mean, dude, they do again such a good job, very like Halloweeny themed when it comes to October, and dude, this is a well done package. The last, the not the last thing, but the caravan cosmetic is the crumbled cauldron, and that is basically the horse from the mount, and it's pulling like this cauldron of like this smoking blue glowing cauldron, which is pretty cool looking, man. And I won't say what it appears that the people inside are doing, but but it's pretty cool.
It is. It is. I like the cauldron. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than it. Like I've said, everything else, it looks really good.
Yeah, it does, man. And it's kind of like we kind of repetitive throughout this whole thing, but you guys got to go check it out for yourselves. If you didn't see it on Twitter, go over to the Ashes of Creation website and check out this new package. Just a disclaimer for anybody: the new one will go out of effect. You will no longer be able to buy that new one, or never. You won't be able to buy the old one starting October 7th. So today, if you're listening to this podcast when it comes out, you have one day to pick up the fire one, the Heat and Harmony one with the like the two-tailed fox and everything like that. So if you're listening to this on Tuesday morning, you have exactly 24 hours to figure out if you want that other package or not. So do that. The last final thing, of course, is the freehold building, and it is like a corrupted tree with like the blue fungal appearance and the dark gray black tone, like kind of like like an elven tree house or something. This is very like wood elf, like corrupted or like dark wood elf type appearance stuff, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I think that's kind of what turns me off a little bit, is because I don't really like the wood elfy look, but I like the colors that they use. And for somebody that likes this style of art, they couldn't have done it any better.
No,
it's just
exactly.
it's just not my cup of tea. But they couldn't have done this art style and this style of cosmetic any better. It looks really good. So kudos to them. It looks really well done.
That's well said, dude, because really like that's the truth. Even if a lot of these don't like appeal to me, like from like what I particularly would want my character to look like, or what I would like to see as far as appearance items go, in the theme of what they do, which is like even it speaks to the last couple ones, they're like really really well done. So if you're into that like corrupted druid or that dark like woodsy witch type of aesthetic, you should definitely check this out, because it is well created. Kudos to the art team over there at Ashes. So, all right, man. So since we've had the podcast last week, we've got a lot of information. A big dev stream came out, so we're gonna break that down for you guys today, and we're gonna start with the studio update. So they gave a studio update, and we've kind of have known this information for quite some time, but they just doubled down on it. They will not be moving into. They have a new studio. They will not be moving into that studio until this COVID stuff clears up, or at least till after the beginning of the year. And again, they are being very consistent with us as far as information goes, because they did mention that they really want to get the Alpha 1 client out before they make any changes with the staff, and they kind of expressed the fear of maybe moving in and then having to be forced, because their studio's in California, to be forced to move out again because of COVID circumstances or anything like that. So Bordy, Alpha 1 is still in progress, like being worked on. We talked a little bit about their dedication before the show. Steven staying up late and all of that stuff to test the to test the server and the pre-alpha testing. So, what are your thoughts? I appreciate the consistency that they have through these dev streams, and again, they haven't really changed their tone. Their goal is still to get Alpha 1 out in a timely fashion.
Yeah, I love the dev streams, man, and I love the communication they provide. That I feel like they're pretty honest with where they are every time I see one of the dev streams, and I see progress of the game every time I see one. So I like it, man. And from them talking about Alpha 1, I mean, we know that it's probably still gonna be a little while before we can get into Alpha 1, but it looks as though they're pushing forward towards that, and their dedication shows whenever they talk about how late they stayed up squashing bugs and working incredibly hard on it. And it's exciting, man. I think that they're pushing forward. There's still a long road ahead of them. They know that, and I think the community knows that, but it's going to be exciting whenever they get there. And speaking of Alpha 1 though, man, speaking of Alpha 1, the Glorious Gourd contest, dude, can give you a chance to get into Alpha 1 if you didn't buy into Alpha 1. So that doesn't tie into the dev update, but I think we should mention the Glorious Gourd contest.
Yeah,
I think we
they
forgot
did
to put that in
mention
the
it on the
notes. Okay.
stream. They teased it there, and so basically they're having a pumpkin carving contest to where some of the prizes include Alpha 1 access and an AMD graphics card. And now they haven't said which AMD graphics card, and there just happens to be an AMD event coming up that they're announcing a new graphics card at. So, dude, you might be able to carve a pumpkin and get a new one of the newest AMD graphics card. I hate to put them on the spot for that. Maybe it's not one of those, but hey, man, we can dream, right? So,
well, no, it says it at the bottom of this post, man. AMD Sapphire Nitro Plus Radeon RX 5700 XT.
Okay, so that is like their top. I believe their top tier card right now. So
yeah,
that's pretty dang good for carving pumpkins, man. I'm gonna give it a go. I mean, I've carved a few turkeys in my time. I haven't done a lot of pumpkin carving as of late, so we'll see how it goes. But I know my kids will have fun, carving pumpkins as well. So. I'm gonna give it a good solid college try there, and hopefully I'll at least get Alpha 1 access. I'm just gonna keep trying until I get it.
I mean, I know it's worth a shot anyway for people who don't have it. So you can figure out how to enter into this contest just by going over to ashesofcreation.com, and then there's a news article that talks about the Glorious Gourd contest.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because that is something that I think is very interesting and obviously fun. During the Halloween holiday. So now we're going to kind of break down this information, not in the particular order that it came up in the dev stream, kind of like going into as far as like, I guess, our personal interest in the stuff, but all of it's cool. All of it's good information. They continue to put out, one of the things I'll give kudos to Ashes of Creation, they have a vision and they're sticking to that vision. And they keep teasing things and giving us information, and they all seem to tie into that general theme of what they want to, what the game is that they want to put out. So first is fishing, man. They showed us some fishing footage of them fishing, in the ocean or whatever the beach that they were on during the live stream. And dude, fishing is one of people's favorite pastimes in games and in real life. So what did you think about the fishing preview that they gave?
It looks good, man. I think the fishing in this game is going to be a lot of fun with the way they describe it and explain it. So, I hope that there's a little more to it, than a lot of fishing in other games. I hope there's a little bit of depth there, but I think there will be the way they describe it and what I know of fishing. It should be
right. Yeah, and again, Steam Crow makes a good point in chat. They do have this very clear vision, and every time they bring up a new topic and talk about it, fishing or as we go on, like with the aquatic gameplay in the game, dude, they know so much about it, even though it really doesn't exist yet. You know what I mean? And that's like, that builds a lot of confidence as a backer and as like, potential player in the game is that they do seem to have a very clear idea of what they want to do with all this stuff. So
they do, but I also think it puts a lot of pressure on them as well because there's so much hype revolving around this game because they do such a great job articulating everything and every little aspect, including things like fishing, which you would think would be kind of a small piece of the puzzle. They articulate things so well with their vision that puts a lot of pressure on the dev team for them to deliver. And if they don't deliver a great product, man, it could be a big letdown for a lot of people. So I have faith they will. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just, I think that they have a lot riding on it, a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
Well, and I think one of the things, is, and we'll kind of get on into more of this later, but one of the things that that comes along with, I think that, like you said, that clear vision, but very heighty or lengthy or what's the word I'm looking for? They have a very like vivid vision that is pretty deep, you know what I mean? And to execute that takes time. So, we are sitting here creating a podcast for the game. I know a lot of other people do the same and other people create content around the game, but as of now, we have no idea when the game's actually going to come out. So I have no doubt they'll deliver what they're promising to everybody, but we don't know a time frame on that. And obviously, I enjoy. I'm happy that they take the stance of when it's done, it's done. They're not like they're not pushing out Alpha 1 to please the backers. You know what I mean, or anything like that. They're taking their time, working out the bugs, and make sure they deliver a product that's high quality, and I appreciate that. But again, that takes time, and we have no idea how much time it'll actually take to see the full game, which is again something that we have to take into consideration and be patient with.
Yeah.
So water-based mounts. Now this is they whipped out the sea turtle, like the spider sea turtle or whatever you want to call it. It's like 8 legs. But extremely cool looking, dude. The way the mounts travel, even the land-based mounts, the way they travel through the water is really, really cool. I like that you can stay mounted in the water. I like that there's water-specific mounts that increase your movement speed in the water. So this attention to detail that they're placing in the game is awesome to see. But what are your thoughts on water-based mounts and in general? I mean, like, this isn't something that is in a lot of MMOs.
Yeah, dude. Whenever I seen that Tide Snapper, I was kind of blown away because I have never played an MMO with a water-based mount. And I know WoW has water-based mounts, but I didn't play WoW for as long as most people, man. I got really, really bored of WoW pretty early on. After the first expansion, I was done, and I never looked back. I didn't want to spend any more time in there. I was kind of done with the game. So I didn't ever experience water-based mounts in that game. So, and I haven't played another MMO. Or I'm sure maybe I have, but I just didn't know they had water-based mounts. Maybe I didn't get too involved in it. I don't know, but I haven't ever really experienced that a lot in MMOs. So I'm pretty excited to get in there and try it out. And I love the fact, and you touched on it a little bit, that different mounts have different speeds in water. So every mount is not a water-based mount. That's a very specific thing within the game. A water-based mount is a very specific type of mount. So you can't just go get on a mount, jump in the water, and expect to swim really fast. But I did love the fact that other mounts can still swim. They just don't necessarily like to. So they go slower or whatever. And every mount has a different speed. And man, the animations under there were amazing. And did you see the dragon underwater, dude?
Yeah.
Did you see that? No, dude. I was absolutely blown away when I seen that.
Dude, the dragons in general are awesome, but yeah, they dove. I think they dove in from the sky with a griffin into the water, and they did the same thing with the dragon.
Yeah.
Dude, it's nice. Again, I know it sounds very simple, but just for the character not to dismount when it hits the water. Because you're used to that in so many MMOs where you can't even ride your mount in the water; it just kind of dismounts. Or, honestly, some MMOs don't even allow you to go in the water. Like the minute you hit the water, it kind of you get like ESO, you get ate by those fish, and it's like
you can only swim so far out. And you can swim only so far out. Yeah,
right, and it's very complicated to do that. I think do it well. There are some games that try and fail horribly. With aquatic gameplay and aquatic combat, so it's exciting to see them try this, and it's a very hard thing to execute, but with their overall approach to the MMO genre and gaming in general, dude, they're going to go 100% into this. I don't doubt that they will do everything in their power to make this work. So that kind of tells us into the next part of it, which was the aquatic gameplay. They did, like they said, travel underwater with the mount. They traveled underwater with their characters. And when they got underneath there, dude, there is a whole fleshed out world underneath that water. It isn't just blank sand and everything like that. Dude, there was so much detail, and that was awesome to see.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it, dude. I would love to see underwater cities and all kinds of underwater content under there. The gameplay underwater should be a little bit different than whenever you're, obviously not underwater, and I think it will be. It looks really cool, very promising. Again, they have to deliver on this stuff though, and I think that's a tall ask. So we'll see what happens. I know one of the things people were really kind of complaining about was the blur of the water. And Steven said they're going to adjust that, and I think they will. But I do think there should be some kind of visual aspect when you're under the water. Maybe it should blur your vision a little bit. I think it was a little too blurred. I agree with most of the community there. But it was but I think it shouldn't look the same. Like, it shouldn't be crystal clear, right? I wouldn't think so. There should be some kind of effect while you're underwater.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, there's nothing. Obviously, they can titrate the amount of blur and everything like that they add to the game as far as like underwater content goes. But I do think there needs to be some visual difference, other than like, I mean, like we can't go underwater and see perfectly. Why should these characters be able to? And like you had mentioned too, man, with like the vision and then having that fleshed out, and dude, it adds so much to the amount of environments they can add to the game, right? So you talk about mountains and rivers and islands and everything like that. Just this is one more biome that they can explore as far as NPC goes. Maybe, dude, what if they have like an underwater node that you can control, dude, like an underwater castle that has like air, like kind of, and I hate to, this is a sensitive subject for most people, but episode 1 of Star Wars with, they have the bubble city underwater, having to swim underneath there to get into that like air bubbled city. And that would be like a particular node that you could control. That would be sick, dude.
Yo, I mean, I don't know about the Star Wars reference, but I do know that underwater, like, that's a great point. Underwater nodes. Oh man, I haven't even thought about that yet. How crazy would that be, man? Oh man, owning an underwater territory.
Yeah, Gungans. Yeah, hook 'em. All I could think of was Jar Jar Binks. I couldn't think of the actual race, but it's a Gungan city. But yeah, I guess, dude. Yeah, I think like obviously, and we'll talk more about this later. But they're gonna have like seaports and everything like that you can control and manage as a node. Why not have some like an underwater node or two that would be like maybe specialized in technology? What if that's one of the science nodes, man, is like underwater, like laboratory type stuff? Yo, dude, that's
hey, I think you're onto something,
hey,
man.
I mean, you guys, if you guys need design ideas, hit me up, dude. Redbyrd with a Y. So
you had one good decent idea.
All my ideas are top tier.
Okay.
Listen, okay, they don't need my help. I'll admit that. Okay, is that fair enough? Can we agree on that?
Yeah, we can 100% agree on that.
Okay, cool. So another thing that they teased, and I thought it was very like extremely cool, is the island, or the like what they said that the Alpha 1 environment might look like, with the the natural land bridges that you could sell your ship underneath, and talking about how pirates could wait up there and jump on your ship. And dude, I know me and you never really got into Arcade. I know they have a lot of aquatic stuff like that a lot of people state was pretty decent as far as gameplay goes. But dude, one of the video games that I thought did aquatic combat and stuff well. Do you ever play Black Flag Assassin's Creed? The pirate themed one?
Nah, man, I didn't play any of the Assassin's Creed series.
So it's like very good combat as far as like naval stuff goes. It transitioned well from like like shooting the cannons and everything like that, dude. If they can pull that off in an MMO and have like pirate type gameplay on top of just normal MMO gameplay, dude, there's gonna be a lot of fun to be had in these island type or aquatic type settings in the game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's so much they can do with it. It opens up just so many gameplay opportunities if they can nail some aquatic gameplay.
Yeah, and obviously you have the caravan system that will also be, some of that will be aquatic based, so you'll have like supply routes and stuff that are naval, travel, from maybe like coast to coast or island to coast or whatever like that. So there'll be opportunities to be maybe like a real life pirate, dude. You can maybe have your own ship or build your own ship and then just kind of camp those sea trade routes, man, and just like rob these ships on a regular basis. How cool would that be? Just to like, again, like the something that's very obviously like a very ambitious approach to the MMO genre, but can add so much to gameplay, are these different environments and how the nodes work and how the trade routes work and everything like that, and all the things that they kind of teased in the dev stream kind of makes it seem like, dude, if you want to choose the life of a pirate in Ashes of Creation, you're going to be able to.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, man. That may be where I stay. I don't know.
Are you going to be a pirate, dude?
Maybe. That sounds fun.
Okay. Interesting. I never took you for a pirate. Usually I take you for like a barbarian brute type of gameplay person. But
Hey man,
hey man, pirates need brainless brutes too. I guess part of their crew. So I hope you find a good
dude,
captain.
what?
And
Why are you thought? Why are you taking shots,
I
man?
wasn't, dude. I was like wishing you well, dude, in your pirate adventure. I was
No.
saying, dude, I hope you find a good crew to swab the deck with.
Okay.
The anything else? But I mean, like this was a pretty jam-packed dev stream, so there was a lot of information. Anything you can think of that we didn't cover already?
So let's talk about underwater combat for a
All
second,
right, okay.
like how that's gonna work out underwater, because that's a challenge, man. Making underwater combat good in a game is a challenge, and like I said before, I haven't had a lot of experience in underwater combat or underwater gameplay at all in MMOs, but I would think that the combat should act a little bit different underwater, right? I mean, your movements should definitely be different, maybe a little slower. You're kind of floating around under there versus running around. So, are your abilities going to work the same underwater as they do above water in terms of tracking, or if you're in action-based combat? So that's another thing that's kind of gonna like action based versus like the tab target, the whole hybrid combat system. How is that going to work underwater? Like there's so many questions that pop up in my mind whenever I start thinking about underwater combat, that it's going to have to be fun, but it's going to have to be different than not underwater combat, or else what's the point,
Yeah, dude. Here's something important, and I think it's something that I played. Okay, so Guild Wars 2 was the last MMO I played that had underwater combat. You had a separate weapon with a separate skill set that you could only use when you're wielding your underwater weapon, like your harpoon or your trident or whatever. This is always my question: is like, does it add anything to gameplay, or is it just like basically a discounted version of the actual gameplay that only like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just there to be there, but it's kind of like lesser. Like it's, does it keep with my character's theme? Does it keep, or is it just like make me like this like sea dwelling person, like just because I'm underwater? That's something that's very challenging to do, I think, is to continue on with your current gameplay, to add a little bit of something because you're underwater, but still like not have like this watered down, pardon the pun, experience when you're underwater, right? I mean, that's the challenge, and they'll obviously see, or remains to be seen how they'll approach that.
Yeah, you want it to be something. You want it to be a great addition and something that people want to go experience, versus something that people are like, it's there and I can do it if I want to. But yeah, but I don't. Yeah, like either it sucks and you don't want to go do it, or it's like, well, it's there, but it's not near as fun as like fighting on land. So why would I go fight underwater? Like I'll go do it a couple times and I'm done just to go experience it, and then after that, like it kind of sucks. I don't want to do it. So they've got to make it worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
And and Steamcrow says, based on the MMOs he's played, that underwater combat is usually, it feels like left feeling wanting. Like people go under there and they're like, this looks cool, but then they leave there and like, it could have been better. Like it should have been more going on down there.
Well,
so I hope that there is.
Like WoW has a lot of like underwater. They've tried many approaches at underwater zones. And some of them are like, some of them they just give you underwater breathing so you don't have to constantly worry about it. But some they don't. And that's like annoying to me, dude. I don't want to worry about drowning all the time. You know what I mean? When you're experiencing underwater. So I think they did mention there might be some underwater breathing spells that you can cast on each other, which is pretty dope. I like that type of magic, like situational magic.
Yeah. Or what about a whole other skill line of crafting that you can create, like craft underwater, like breathing apparatuses,
devices,
or some kind of,
scuba gear, like like engineering and then, maybe you can harpoon fish underwater. I mean, like, there's a lot of things you can do with it, but like, again, I think the main challenge that you face in an MMO is the gameplay like cool? Is it something I want to go do versus like, oh man, they're like leading me to this underwater zone and I'm going to tilt my face off when I'm having to experience the content. So that's a challenge, and I'm glad you brought it up because, combat and the general experience underwater is important. If you're going to try it, you have to do it well, I think, because otherwise it can kind of be like a little bit of a red flag against your overall gameplay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so all right, man. Well, good discussions here. And again, I appreciate the team, their transparency and their vision. I mean, I that goes, I can say that over and over again. I appreciate their transparency by doing these these developer streams and everything. I mean, it's awesome to see, like, again, have like a little bit of a portal inside of what they're developing, what they're working on. You see some of these features that we maybe like sometimes feel are a little bit lofty, and then seeing them actually fleshed out in the gameplay during these dev streams is awesome, dude.
Yeah, I enjoy them a whole lot. Every time they have one, I look forward to it.
So yeah, dude. Now this is something. This will kind of tie up the episode with our first ever guild promotion. We teased this on a couple episodes before, that you guys could go over to ashesfans.com, our Ashes of Creation website, and create a guild post, and we would potentially read your guild post on the podcast to give you guys a little bit of a bump in your recruiting. So this is a cool story, man. This particular person was on. We ran into him on Twitter. He was kind of talking, like, using the at Ashes of Creation tag on there, and saying that he was like really excited about the game and how he wanted to create and this kind of plays into the pirate themed life in Ashes of Creation. He wanted to create a guild that was strictly based off of paladins and holy magic. And so, we talked to him on there and told him to go over to Ashes Fans to create his guild, and we would help him promote it. And sure enough, dude, he did. And so we're going to do that today for him on the podcast. The first ever promotion will be Legion of Light. And this is this gentleman's guild that he posted. And it is directly, of course, like he said, dedicated to paladins, man. Do you have it pulled up? You're much better. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we give this guy the shout out that he deserves? And again, we appreciate the interaction. Go follow the Studio Loot Twitter account if you're interested in promoting your guild, and go over to ashesfans.com to create your guild account, and you might be on the next episode. So, Bordy, take it away. Legion of Light.
All right, Legion of Light is an NA-based guild, an English-speaking guild. The focus is on PvE. They have a Discord link here, and I will make sure that I link this in the show notes below, and it'll be also listed. There will be a link on the VOD, too, whenever that's posted in a couple days. So Legion of Light is a guild of paladins dedicated to a single purpose: protection of the land and all who dwell in it. Ooh, dude. Sounds dope. Mm-hmm. We will serve as a shining sword and glimmering shield to stem the tides of evil throughout the land. Yo, dude. Hey, I'm almost hooked.
Are you going to be a Legion of Light pirate?
Maybe. Though we will dwell under one kingdom's banner, our protection will stand for all. Join me, brothers and sisters of the light, and stand in the face of coming darkness for the light. So then he says that he thanks everybody for looking at the guild, and then goes on to just kind of give his thanks. And he says, from a lead RP standpoint, he wants to lead from an RP standpoint, and he wants to be PvE focused, leveling focused, dungeon focused, wants to do a lot of raiding, exploring. He wants to try to establish a castle for the guild, PvP focused. Help bounty hunters when needed. So I guess they are going to do some PvP. I think at the top it says the focus is PvE, but I guess they're going to do both.
He's going to focus on playing the game, dude.
Both, yeah, doing everything in the game, it sounds like. So bounty hunters when needed, help other guilds and cities when needed. So it sounds like that's going to be a good guild to be a part of. Sounds like a good group of people, and a great leader there. So yeah, go check out Legion of Light, and I'll have that posted. It's on ashesfans.com. You can go search for Legion of Light, or you can just click on the link in the show notes.
Yeah, and we appreciate that, guys. The interaction over on Ashes Fans. We continue to work on the website, and one of the things we definitely wanted to do with the podcast and the website is help you guys promote your guilds. So go do that now, and of course, dude, you guys can be one of our featured guild of the week. And Bordy, it's been a great episode, man. Lots of information. One announcement that we do want to make tonight is that we're going to start doing a cadence of every other week. It's something that me and Bordy kind of feel like, we need to do right now as far as content and providing high quality episodes for you guys. And it seems like they're, with the dev updates and everything, there's quite a bit of content to cover. We can usually do that in one episode, and then we'll obviously keep working on covering the entire details of Ashes of Creation in our other episode that week. But every other week, it seems like a pretty good cadence, and we want to kind of transition to that until things start to pick up and there's a playable version of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's the best bet to make our quality is the highest possible quality.
Yeah, and so definitely, check us out. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll still be obviously uploading those podcasts, but in every other week fashion. Until again, there's a playable version of the game. There's like more frequent updates and more things to discuss. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Bordy, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me over at Twitter at the BDLG. YouTube is at the BDLG, and then Twitch is just twitch.tv/BDLG. And then, of course, creating content at ashesfans.com, which is a studioloot.com product.
Yes, and I am Redbird with Y. You can find me at Twitch and YouTube under the same name. On Twitter, I am Redbird. Guys, follow the Studio Loot Twitter account. It's where all the information, when we are going to post an episode of Ashes to Go, when we're going to record one, when we update the Ashes fans site, it will all be posted through that Twitter account. So that's where we keep track of. That's our social media account that we use to promote everything we do. So go check that out. Follow, please. And and again, any interactions or any questions you guys have for the podcast, we're open to answering those as well. So shoot us a tweet or whatever, and we'll respond to that. Also, we have a contact button, something we mentioned before, on studioloot.com. So if you want to contact us via email or whatever, you can do that there. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. Listening. Whatever you're doing, thank you. And we'll see you on the next episode of Ashes to Go, which will be 2 weeks from today, which is Monday or Tuesday, whenever you're listening to this. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.